Hey everybody, welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. You're probably thinking, well, no. At the end of the last episode, you were in Val Royeaux, and you would be correct. But what some people were pointing out is that if you go to Val Royeaux, you could potentially miss out on some of your companions and perhaps even starting some quests with them and things like that. So, like, whether or not that is a really severe decision, I wanted to come back and make sure that I did talk to all of my companions before we go to Val Royeaux. And I got to get into that, like, BioWare mindset, where every time I come back to the central hub, I got to go and talk to my my people. So we're going to start with Cassandra, see what she has to say, and we'll make sure we touch base with everybody. So here we go.
Ugh.
You're actually... Oh, really? You might start some... Okay. You're good.
You're kind of a force of nature, aren't you?
When I need to be.
It's impressive.
You flatter me.
I'm trying.
Did I do the right thing? What I have set in motion here could destroy everything I have revered my whole life. One day they may write about me as a traitor, a madwoman, a fool. And they may be right.
I don't think that's going to happen. What do you feel?
What does your faith tell you?
I believe you are innocent. I believe more is going on here than we can see. And I believe no one else cares to do anything about it. They will stand in the fire and complain that it is hot. But is this the Maker's will? I can only guess.
So... You're with me, like, you don't think I'm the chosen one. The Herald of Andraste. I know I've been pronouncing that kind of weird.
You don't think I'm the Herald of Andraste?
Yeah.
I think you were sent to help us. I hope you were. But the Maker's help takes many forms. Sometimes it's difficult to discern who it truly benefits, or how.
So, what do you think happens next?
What's going to happen now?
Now, we deal with the Chantry's panic over you before they do even more harm. Then we close the breach. We are the only ones who can. After that, we find out who is responsible for this chaos, and we end them. And if there are consequences to be paid for what I have done, I pay them. I only pray the price is not too high.
Well, I've got your back.
You didn't have any choice.
Didn't I?
I mean, you always have choice, but when you're in the heat of the
My
moment...
trainers always said, Cassandra, you are too brash. You must think before you act. I see what must be done, and I do it. I see no point in running around in circles like a dog chasing its tail.
That's exactly it.
But I misjudged you in the beginning, did I not? I thought the answer was before me, clear as day. I cannot afford to be so careless again.
Well, I mean, all of your experiences in your life lead up to every decision that you make, and ultimately, you had your reasons.
It wasn't like you had no reason to suspect me.
I was determined to have someone answer for what happened. Anyone. You've said you don't believe you're chosen. Does that mean you also don't believe in the Maker?
Look, this is kind of an interesting decision for where we take Oddeth, and I'm thinking it's kind of tough. I believe in elven gods, but the Maker, I'm not sure. Maybe they're one and the same, I don't know.
I'm Dalish. I believe in our own gods.
And there's no room among your gods for one more? I suppose it doesn't matter now. I have to believe we were put on this path for a reason, even if you do not. Now it simply remains to see where it leads us.
Okay, well, that's great. So we've talked to her. The other thing we could maybe do is look at trying to upgrade Varric's stuff, and I think
if you have any.
we can do some of that here, if I'm not mistaken. Upgrades, yes. Sturdy Bianca grip, Bianca arms. Oh, our inventory's still full. Okay, so I went back to here. It's all good. Let's just get in here. We can sell some of our valuables here. Keep these. Oh, damn it. Okay, there. So we made a little bit of room, and then what I will do is when at the end, before we head to Val Royeaux, I'll just cut out and sell all the stuff that I had sold previously, and that way we're all square. You don't have to watch me sell all that stuff again. But let's grab the Sturdy Bianca grip. Let's grab this aiming module and Bianca's arms. Did I not get this? Yeah, no, I did. Looks like we can buy multiple, though. Oh, it's infinite amounts. That's interesting. Okay, cool. Now, if I want to add that to his Bianca, can we do that? Bianca arms. So strange. Let's go into his weapons. Maybe we have to... Let's unequip this first, then see if we can actually upgrade it from here. Move to valuables. What the hell? Or do we have to do this at the blacksmith? I was kind of hoping we could just do it, but I guess not. You do have to go here to modify your stuff, so that makes sense.
Travel safely.
Researcher Monet believes these notes could assist you.
All right, now let's go into Varric here. His Bianca. Here we go. We're on the right track. Throw the aiming module in. In the grip, we'll throw the sturdy Bianca grip. In the arms, we'll throw the Bianca arms. Yeah, this thing's getting better. Okay. So I really will have to pay attention to what we are buying, where we're buying it, and apparently there are pretty good things in the shop, so that's really cool. That makes me happy to know. It's still like, it's not as strong as these other things, but I'm sure it'll get there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to make sure that we're equipped with the best things, just like I did in the last episode, so you don't have to watch that, and then we'll get talking to the companions again. So give me 1 second, I will be right back. Okay, we're back, and the one thing I just wanted to point out that I saw here I didn't notice last time is this Tactician's Renewal, which looks like it lets you respec abilities. That's kind of cool, actually. It's a single use, because that way you're not like locked in and you can try different things out, and I think that's a pretty huge benefit. So let's go talk to the rest of our friends and see how they're doing. Does it actually... Okay. So Solas, we can go talk to him. Apothecaries, Cullen, War Room, Josephine. Let's talk to Varric, since he's right here.
Need something?
Yeah, I have questions about Hawk.
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
So, where are Hawk's friends?
Where are the rest of Hawke's associates now?
Merrill decided to look after the elves left homeless by the fighting. She's done a pretty good job of keeping them away from the mages and Templars, so far. I guess she has plenty of practice avoiding stupid human battles with her old Dalish clan. Fenris has kept himself busy, hunting down the Tevinter slavers who came south to prey on the refugees. I'm not sure exactly where he is at the moment. You can usually follow the trail of corpses, though. Isabella went back to the raiders. She's calling herself an admiral now. I don't know if she's actually in charge or just has a really big hat. Might be the same thing, honestly. Sebastian went back to Starkhaven. I'm sure he's boring all sorts of people there. Last I knew, Hawke's sister Bethany was doing something wardening near the Anderfell's border. Aveline is still guard captain. I'm pretty sure Kirkwall would fall into the sea if she quit her job.
Wow, he just did a serious amount of name dropping.
Need something?
I've read your Tale of the Champion, and I have a few questions.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
What happened to Anders?
What happened to the mage who destroyed the Kirkwall Chantry? The book never said.
He fled Kirkwall with the mages from the Circle. Stayed with them a while, but he had to move on. Somehow a lot of mages blamed him for making them live as fugitives. I don't know where he is now, and I don't want to know.
And Orsino?
In the book, you say that first Enchanter Orsino turned himself into a giant monster made of corpses. How? Why?
Do I look like an expert on magical weirdness to you? I can't tell you how.
He's got a good point.
Why, all I can say is he was desperate.
And the Arashok fight.
There's no way Hawke really could have killed the Arashok. It would have started a war with the Qunari.
I was told later that the Qunari disavowed his actions. Apparently, the Arashok didn't get permission before he attacked Kirkwall, and the Qun didn't want another exalted march. When they finally sent a ship to haul the wrecked dreadnought away, they just said, "We will never speak of this again." As far as I can tell, that's the Qun's version of an apology.
Okay, then.
Carry on.
Need something?
So I think he answered all of our questions about
I've
Hawke.
read your Tale of the Champion.
That's a pretty common reaction. Go ahead.
Carry
Yeah.
on.
Need something?
Can you tell me about Red Lyrium?
The red lyrium we found at the temple seemed to upset you.
My brother Bartrand and I sort of discovered Red Lyrium during an expedition in the Deep Roads. We located an ancient thaig, so old it barely looked dwarven. There was this idol there made of it. Bartrand brought it back to the surface, and, well, everything's gone downhill from there.
So what is it exactly? Like, it's a more advanced form of lyrium, more dangerous?
So what is it? Just another kind of lyrium?
The red stuff is lyrium like a dragon is a lizard. It's
Yeah,
not
okay.
just a different color. It has a whole host of weirdness all its own. I've written to every mining cast house in Orzammar. No one's seen this stuff before or knows where it came from.
What can it do? Like, what is it capable
What
of?
makes it special?
Regular lyrium can mess you up pretty badly, but you have to ingest it for that to happen. Red lyrium messes with your mind when you're just near the stuff. You hear singing, get violent, paranoid.
Wow.
And then, it does creepy shit. Makes things float, brings statues to life. It also turned
No thanks.
Kirkwall's Knight Commander to lyrium. Everyone's been kept at least 100 paces from it since.
So why was it in the temple?
How did the red lyrium get in the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I don't know. So as far as I knew, the only piece to make it to the surface was destroyed. And the location of the thaig it came from is a secret. Did someone find more of it in the Deep Roads? That's not a cheery thought.
That's true.
I think that's enough on red lyrium.
Yeah, not really my favorite subject.
Thanks for sharing it, though.
Need something?
I do have a personal question.
Can I ask you something, Varric?
You want to talk about me? I'm flattered. Also inclined toward extravagant lies.
Yeah. How do you know Cassandra?
How do you and Cassandra know each other?
You heard about the Kirkwall Chantry being destroyed? The guy responsible used to be a friend of mine. The Seeker had questions about that, and I had answers.
And where are you from exactly?
You from Ferelden? Orlais?
Free marches, born and raised in Kirkwall. And despite whatever you've heard, no, Kirkwall's not that bad.
Do you have like a job?
I'm not clear on your line of work. You're a merchant.
I'm a businessman. My family has a seat in the Dwarven Merchants Guild. Merchants buy and sell goods. Businessmen buy and sell stores. In my spare time, I manage a spy network, and occasionally, I write books.
Yeah, so you're pretty busy. You think you could do Leliana's job?
If you've run a spy network, why is Leliana our spy master?
To be honest with you, she's just a better spy master. The truly great ones can keep their distance. They don't get attached to their people. Me, I always wind up babysitting my informants and worrying about their families. We're in better hands with her.
That's interesting. It's interesting that he knows that and acknowledges it, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like a jack of all trades, but a master of none. Tell me about your books.
You're an author. What kind of books have you written?
I've tried my hands at a few genres. My crime serials are my most popular. Hard in Hightown, guards breaking the rules to get things done. The Tale of the Champion is the most famous thing I've written, or infamous maybe. I started a romance serial once, Swords and Shields, but to be honest, I don't have a knack for romance.
Swords and
Most
shields.
of my stories end in tragedy. Probably that says something unfortunate about me personally.
And are any of your shops in Haven?
What sort of shops do you own?
Actually, we don't own shops. That was just an example. Mostly we invest in moneylenders. Auction houses, a few mercenary companies, a couple of smithies. I think we own half a beet plantation in Ravane somewhere. Most of that's my brother's doing. Bartrand had business sense. Not much tact, but loads of business sense.
You got serious cash then. What can you tell me about your little crossbow? Everyone's talking about
Where
this thing.
did you get that crossbow? I've never seen one like it.
Bianca, she's one of a kind. I won her from Paragon Smith Bronca in a game of Wicked Grace. She was such a sore loser. Ran off the deep roads in a huff, and that was the last anyone saw of her.
Why Bianca?
Who's she named for?
I can't tell you.
Come on, Varric.
And the reason for that is?
Complicated. It's the one story I'll never tell. We just have to leave it.
What?
Thanks,
What a
Varric.
tease.
No problem.
What a tease. Okay, well, let's go and talk to... Let's go talk to Solas. Actually, who's this? We already talked to Leliana, but let's see if she has anything new to say.
May God be with you.
Or perhaps this will initiate...
Blessed are the peacekeepers, the
Yeah, because
champions
we did
of the
talk to
just.
her in this scenario.
Blessed are the righteous, the lights in the shadow. In their blood, the Maker's will is written. Is that what you want from us? Blood. To die so that your will is done? Is death your only blessing?
You speak for Andraste, no? What does the Maker's prophet have to say about all of this? What's his game?
How is this a game?
Do you see the sky? What about the temple ruins? The bones lying in the dust? Even if you didn't support the Divine's peace, you wouldn't call this right. Who could? So many innocent lives. The faithful murdered where the holiest of holies once stood. If the Maker willed this, what is it if not a game or a cruel joke?
I can't speak for Andraste.
I speak for no one but myself, and I have no answers for you.
You probably don't even worship the Maker. Lucky. He asks a lot. The Chantry teaches that the Maker abandoned us. He demands repentance for our sins. He demands it all. Our lives, our deaths. Justinia gave him everything she had, and he let her die.
I'm sorry about that, but you're
I'm sorry.
taking this really hard.
Her death has clearly hit you hard.
Not just me. All of us. She was the divine. She led the faithful. She was the heart. If the Maker doesn't intervene to save the best of his servants, what good is he? I used to believe I was chosen, just as some say you are. I thought I was fulfilling his purpose for me, working with the divine, helping people. But now she's dead. It was all for nothing. Serving the Maker meant nothing.
Why don't you let me help you?
Maybe you have another purpose. I could help you find it.
No, this is my burden. I regret that I even let you see me like this. It was a moment of weakness. It won't happen again. Come. To work, then. We will speak later.
Yeah. So we had talked to her previously, but I will talk to her again later. We'll give her some time.
So it's true. Butler has stand on us.
I will keep the peace, while you and the others appeal to the Chantry in Val Royeaux.
Better ready yourself for the blame. You will be rightly assigned.
Closing the breach is our primary goal. But I hope we might also discover what was used to create it.
Totally
Any
agree,
artifact of such power
actually.
is dangerous. The destruction of the Conclave proves that much.
See, I think some of what he just said there is why Cassandra may... Like, I kind of get the vibe that she doesn't trust him fully. And, like, for her, close the breach, we're good. For him, it's like, dig a little deeper, why did it happen?
You don't think whatever created the explosion was destroyed in the blast?
You survived, did you not? The artifact that created the breach is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
I actually like that. It's not a priority, but, you know, I do agree that it would be great to know.
We would do well to try to recover whatever created the breach.
Leliana's people have scoured the area near the blast and found nothing. Whatever the artifact was, it is no longer there. In any case, did you need me for anything?
I just have a few questions. Can you tell me about the elves?
I'd be interested in hearing your opinions on elven culture.
I thought you'd be more interested in sharing your opinions of elven culture. You are Dalish, are you not?
Yeah, I'm Dalish.
Yes, I am. The Dalish are the best hope for preserving the culture of our people.
Our people. You use that phrase so casually. It should mean more. But the Dalish have forgotten that, among other things.
Oh, but you know the
So
truth, right?
He's a city
While they
elf.
pass on stories, mangling details, I walk the Fade. I have seen things they have not.
So why don't you help them?
The Dalish are trying to restore elven history. If you know something new, share it.
Would your clan listen to what I had learned in my studies? My travels?
Maybe.
Would they mock the
I would.
Vladir and his stories and go back to their ruins? At least you were asking. That is something. I will answer as I can.
Okay. So what about elven magic?
Is the magic they teach in the Circle different from the magic I learned with my people?
No and yes. Magic is magic, just as water is water, but it can be used in different ways. Dalish magic is more practical, not needing Chantry approval, although they still frown on blood magic. Superstition. Much of it is more subtle. A legacy from when elves were immortal.
Special? Okay. Was immortality due to the magic?
Legends of elven immortality. Did they use magic to increase their lifespan?
No. It was simply part of being elven. The subtle beauty of their magic was the effect, not the cause of their nature. Some spells took years to cast. Echoes would linger for centuries, harmonizing with new magic in an unending symphony. It must have been beautiful.
And what about blood magic?
You said that the censure against blood magic was a superstition.
I did. It's fortunate Cassandra is not within earshot. Most modern cultures forbid blood magic.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Publicly, even Devinta disapproves of it. But as I said,
Publicly.
magic is magic. It matters only in how it is used.
It seems like, I mean, if you're using it for the right reasons, what's the issue?
I'd be interested in learning more about blood magic.
I would teach you if I knew it. Unfortunately, using blood magic seems to make it more difficult to enter the Fade. You understand why I never bothered to learn it. Shame, as it is extremely powerful, provided it remains a tool, not a crutch, nor a passion.
Everything in moderation. What about the ancient elves?
I'd like to know more about the elves from before our time.
The Dalish strive to remember Hallam Shiral. But Hallam Shiral was merely a fumbling attempt to recreate a forgotten land.
Arlathan.
Elvanan was the empire, and Arlathan its greatest city. Place of magic and beauty, lost to time.
Anything else?
You've studied ancient elves. What else do you know of Arlathan?
We hear stories of them living in trees, and imagine wooden ramps or Dalish aerovels. Imagine instead spires of crystal twining through the branches, palaces floating among the clouds. Imagine beings who lived forever, for whom magic was as natural as breathing. That is what was lost.
Actually, really, I like Solas. He's pretty cool. Obviously, we have like a natural connection, but I want to know how much he knows about my people.
Are all Dalish elves like my clan?
No. Your clan was unique in having enough interest in human affairs to send you to spy upon the Divine's meeting. As your clans have been separate for so long, they have all changed, adapting to the lands in which they live. Some are no more than bandits, others trade freely with humans, and some have disappeared entirely into the forests.
And what about the city elves?
Can you tell me about elves living in human cities?
The culture in alienages or among the slaves of Tevinter is like any of the impoverished and powerless. They cling to memories of a better past, and practice a few rituals to distinguish themselves from humans.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
That's really cool.
As I explored the Fade, I felt the presence of an intriguing artifact in the hinterlands. If you are willing, I would like to locate it. I have marked its location as best I could determine.
Yeah, do it. Can you tell me about the Fade?
What do you know about the Fade?
A great deal from my wanderings. There are few hard facts, but I can share what I have learned.
So let's start with the breach then.
I'd like to know more about the breach.
Simply put, it is a tear in the veil between this world and the Fade, allowing spirits to enter the world physically. Small tears occur naturally when magic weakens the veil, or when spirits cluster at an area that has seen many deaths. But your mark allows you to exert some control over the breach. That means it was created deliberately.
And what's the difference between like the Fade and the Veil?
I'd like to know more about the Veil.
Circle mages call it a barrier between this world and the Fade. But
Okay.
according to my studies in ancient elven lore, that is a vast oversimplification. Without it, imagine if spirits entered freely. The Fade was not a place one went, but a state of nature like the wind.
It does sound strange.
I don't know if I can imagine that.
Try. Imagine if spirits were not a rarity, but a part of our natural world. Like a fast-flowing river. Yes, it
Okay.
can drown careless children, but it can also carry a merchant's goods or grind a miller's flour. That is what the world could be if the Veil were not present. For better or worse.
So the Veil makes it more difficult. Or well, it's there, it kind of, what's the term I'm looking for? Like it hinders like fully using the Fade, I guess, for good or bad.
I'd like to know more about demons.
Your Dalish say the demons hate the natural world and seek to bring their chaos and destruction to the living. But such simplistic labels misconstrue their motivations, and in so doing, do all a great disservice. Spirits wish to join the living, and a demon is that wish gone wrong.
Is that something that we can change?
Is there a way to coexist? To live with them? If not in peace, at least without such active confrontation.
Not in the world we know today. The Veil creates a barrier that makes true understanding most unlikely. But the question is a good one, and it matters that you thought to ask.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
I wish that I'd be able to
Greetings.
ask him all the questions that I want to without having to re-engage, but
I'd like to know more about you, Solas.
Why?
well, to be honest, I respect you. I'm interested.
You're an apostate. Yet you risked your freedom to help the Inquisition.
not the wisest course of action when framed that way.
I appreciate the work you're doing, Solas. I just wanted to know more about it.
I'm sorry. There's so much fear in the air. What would you know of me?
What is it about the Fade that makes you want to devote so much time to
What
it?
made you start studying the Fade?
I grew up in a village to the north. There was little to interest a young man, especially one gifted with magic. But as I slept, spirits of the Fade showed me glimpses of wonders I had never imagined. I treasured my dreams. Being awake, out of the Fade, became troublesome.
And were you safe while you're doing that?
Spirits try to tempt you.
No more than a brightly colored fruit is deliberately tempting you to eat it. I learned how to defend myself from more aggressive spirits, and how to interact safely with the rest. I learned how to control my dreams with full consciousness. There was so much I wanted to explore.
I gather you didn't spend your entire life dreaming.
No. Eventually, I was unable to find new areas in the Fade.
Why?
2 reasons. First, the Fade reflects the world around it. Unless I travel,
Oh,
I would
that's
never find
cool.
anything new. Second, the Fade reflects and is limited by our imaginations. To find interesting areas, one must be interesting.
That's really cool. So is that why you're here then?
Is this why you joined the Inquisition?
I joined the Inquisition because we were all in terrible danger. If our
It's a
enemies
bonus.
destroy the world, I would have nowhere to lay my head while dreaming of the Fade.
I really hope that works, actually.
I wish you luck.
Thank you. In truth, I've enjoyed experiencing more of life to find more of the Fade.
How so?
You train your will to control magic and withstand possession. Your indomitable focus is an enjoyable sight, then. You have chosen a path whose steps you do not dislike because it leads to a destination you enjoy. As have I.
Where have you all studied?
You said you'd traveled to many different places.
This world, or its memory, is reflected in the Fade. Dream in ancient ruins, you may see a city lost to history. Some of my fondest memories were found in crumbling cities, long picked dry by treasure seekers, the best of the battlefields. Spirits press so tightly on the veil that you can slip across with but a thought.
Which battlefields are you
Any
referencing?
place in particular?
I dreamt Dostigar. I witnessed the brutality of the Darkspawn and the valor of the Ferelden warriors. I saw Alistair and the hero Ferelden light the signal fire, and Logain's infamous betrayal of Caelan's forces.
That's really cool.
I've heard the stories. It would be interesting to hear what it was really like.
That's just it. In the Fade, I see reflections created by spirits who react to the emotions of the warriors. One moment, I see heroic wardens lighting the fire, and a power-mad villain sneering as he lets King Caelan fall. The next, I see an army overwhelmed and a veteran commander refusing to let more soldiers die in a lost cause.
You can't tell which is real.
It is the Fade. They are all real.
Do you work just by yourself, or do you have friends?
Have you always traveled and studied alone?
Not at all. I have built many
Okay.
lasting friendships. Spirits of wisdom, possessed of ancient knowledge, happy to share what they had seen. Spirits of purpose helped me search. Even wisps, curious and playful, would point out treasures I might have missed.
Wisdom and purpose?
I don't know of any spirits by those names.
They rarely seek this world. When they do, their natures do not often survive exposure to the people they encounter. Wisdom and purpose are too easily twisted to pride and desire.
Are those demon names?
You're saying that you became friends with Pride and Desire demons.
They were not demons for me.
Meaning?
The Fade reflects the minds of the living. If you expect a spirit of wisdom to be a pride demon, it will adapt.
So it's
And
like
if
it's
your
different
mind
for
is free of
everybody.
corrupting influences, if you understand the nature of the spirit, they can be fast friends.
That's really cool.
I'm impressed that you could become friends with spirits.
Anyone who can dream has the potential. Few ever try. My friends comforted me in grief, shared my joy.
I really would like
Because
to
they exist
experience
without
that.
form, as we understand it. A chantry declares that spirits are not truly people. Is Cassandra defined by her cheekbones and not her faith? Varric by his chest hair and not his wit?
Well, no, I mean, I don't think that they're people, but I'm not arguing it.
I'm certain you have some rhetorical trick ready to counter anything I say.
It's likely. I've had a lot of time to discuss the question with people. Or spirits, if you prefer.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye. Greetings.
Okay,
We'll
great.
talk later.
Goodbye.
I didn't mean to actually be as harsh with him at the end there, but all I wanted to say to him basically was, you know, like, it makes sense. I'm not arguing it at all. But whatever works for him, I suppose. Okay, so we've pretty much talked to everybody. We just need to revisit the war room.
Researching the nave.
You return.
We've talked to her about everything.
Is there anything I can do to help you or your people?
My healers would benefit from more supplies. We have run short of even common goods with so many wounded. If you could deliver this list and the items on it to Quartermaster Thren, she could get us what we need.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
It may not seem like much, but it would enable my healers to save many lives.
Farewell.
Until next time.
So the only thing I would need to do before we go to the War Council is talk to our creature researcher here.
The Inquisition cannot remain, Ambassador, if you can't prove it was founded on Justinia's orders.
This is an inopportune time, Marquis. More of the faithful flock here each day. But allow me to introduce you to the brave soul who risked his life to slow the magic of the breach. Master Lavelan, this is the Marquis d'Aurelion, one of Divine Justinia's greatest supporters.
And the rightful owner of Haven. House d'Aurelion lent Justinia these lands for pilgrimage. This Inquisition is not a beneficiary of this arrangement.
So, you own this?
This is the first I've heard of Haven having an owner outside the Chantry.
My wife, Lady Machin of Denner, has claimed to Haven by ancient treaty with the monarchs of Ferelden. We were honored to lend its use to Divine Justinia. She was a woman of supreme merit. I will not let an upstart order remain on her holy grounds.
Yeah, but don't you think that the people that followed her the whole time, like, don't you think they need this?
People have been injured. You can't just turn them out onto the snow.
And who benefits if they stay?
Divine Justinia, Marquis. The Inquisition, not the Chantry, is sheltering the pilgrims who mourn her.
Why is the Chantry ignoring the faithful?
Because it remains in shock. We face a dark time, Your Grace. Divine Justinia would not want her passing to divide us. She would, in fact, trust us to forge new alliances to the benefit of all, no matter how strange they might seem.
I'll think on it, Lady Montillier. The Inquisition might stay in the meanwhile.
So, does he actually own the place?
Do the d'Aurelions actually have a claim on this place?
His Grace's position is not so strong as he presents it. Despite our Ferelden relations, the d'Aurelions are our legion. If the Marquis wishes to claim Haven, Empress Selene must negotiate with the Ferelden on his behalf. Her current concerns are a bit larger than minor property disputes.
You handled him pretty well, actually.
I'm so pleased the Marquis isn't tossing us out into the cold.
His Grace is only the first of many dignitaries we must contend with.
You expect more people in Haven?
Undoubtedly. And each visitor will spread the story of the Inquisition after they depart. An ambassador should ensure the tale is as complimentary as possible.
How did you get into this position exactly?
May I ask what brought you to work for the Inquisition?
Sister Leliana approached me. We've been acquainted for quite some time. For better or worse, being the Inquisition's diplomat has become as interesting as she promised.
And what's your background?
What sort of dealings have you had with nobility?
For some years, I was the royally appointed court ambassador from Antiva to Orlais. The nobility of Thedas is a rather singular sphere. Those I'm not acquainted with, I know through reputation.
That's cool. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you, actually.
The Inquisition is lucky to have you as an advocate, Lady Montillier.
Thank you. Let us hope so. Thedas' politics have become agitated as of late.
I've noticed.
I hope to guide us down smoother paths. But please excuse me. I've much work to do before the day is done.
Okay, I do want to talk to you again, if you don't mind.
Greetings.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
Okay.
Any visiting dignitaries I should watch out for?
Sir Griffith of Denerim, a most distinguished knight of the realm. He's defeated darkspawn, slain demons, chased down abominations. Just don't ask him about it over dinner. He spares no detail. Greetings.
How do you and Leliana know each other?
We moved through similar circles in Orlais. I believe we actually met in Val Royeaux. Leliana was quite an accomplished player of the game by then.
The game? What do you mean by that?
What exactly do you mean when you say the game?
Forgive me. The game refers to the slow duels of influence among the noble and powerful of Orlais.
Political
it's
game.
It's a rather light-hearted name for the matter, but Orlesians are fond of playful touches.
What does your family do?
What business are the Montilliers in exactly?
We began as merchants. My ancestors founded the first trade routes to Rivain. We once sent entire fleets across the Waking Sea.
Once?
But not anymore.
No. These days, our vessels are a touch more modest.
I'm sure.
What did you do before coming here?
I had the great honor of serving Antiva's crown as ambassador to Orlais. I'm also first in line to become the head of House Montillier, though my siblings attend to our mercantile affairs.
So are you doing this for Antiva?
How strong are your past loyalties?
I would never have given up my position if I did not intend to fully commit to the Inquisition.
Okay.
We cannot fall back on borders. Antiva is as threatened as any country by the rebellions. If anything, the alliances I forged there may help our current cause.
Do you think that we're going to have other causes after this clears up?
Do you think the Inquisition will continue after we seal the breach?
If we prove ourselves by healing the breach, people may turn to us for other things. Protection, counsel, justice. The Inquisition offered these once to those in need.
You don't believe that I'm the Herald of Andraste, do you?
Tell me, do you believe I was saved by Andraste at the Temple of Sacred Ashes?
I should much like to believe so, Your Worship. The miracles Andraste performed were so long ago, they're difficult to picture. If it were truly her and the Fate who saved you, well, in any case, many already believe you walk in the Maker's light.
Let's speak later.
Another time. Good day to you.
What exactly does your job entail?
I meet with ambassadors from various factions and countries and cement alliances with them. We are a young cause. Diplomacy is essential to our credibility.
So you're a representative.
And you speak for the Inquisition with these nobles?
I do. Someone must foster goodwill on our behalf, as well as prevent controversy as news of us spreads.
Do you think that we're going to cause any long-term issues?
How heavily are our actions scrutinized?
Make no mistake. Every noble house, every throne is waiting to see what the Inquisition does next.
Jeez.
Many are
no
willing
pressure.
to pledge support if offers are made in just the right fashion. I intend to see that they are.
Tell me how you came to work for the Inquisition again.
I'd been considering leaving my post in Antiva for a new challenge when Leliana recruited me. There's such unrest in Thedas, and the Inquisition seems a promising method to stop it. It's to everyone's benefit if we prevent the Mage-Templar conflict from spreading further.
So was it the prospect of stability that drew you here?
The full impact of the Mage Rebellion has yet to be felt, and that was before the death of the Divine. The violence must be curbed before we see it turn to full-scale war.
Oh, that's tough. I do agree with you.
I can only imagine the bloodshed if it escalates further.
I'm afraid history holds many examples of what will happen if it does.
What do the people make of us?
Despite our fame, we're low on steadfast allies. We must aim for more.
Any thoughts on the people here?
Who did you mean?
Like, what about our mages? Solas.
What's your impression of Solas?
I suppose I should be wary of an apostate, but our elven mage has conducted himself with the utmost propriety. And he has the most fascinating stories.
He does. I totally get that. What about Varric?
I was thinking of Varric.
Oh, I could listen to his tales for hours. He actually let me read a chapter of his next book he's writing. My friends would be sick with envy if they knew. It's excellent, but a bit different from his past works. Only 3 beheadings so far.
And what about Cullen and Cassandra?
Commander Cullen came to mind.
The commander is an intelligent, cautious man. I'm grateful he's in charge of our standing army. Still, he does sometimes resemble the man with a hammer to whom everything appears as a nail.
I was thinking of Cassandra.
Seeker Pentagast is a princess of the Kingdom of Nevarra, although that barely seems important to her. She was not interested when I asked if we might make use of her royal relations. Still, the Inquisition would not have formed without Cassandra. She's an extraordinarily driven woman.
Let's speak later.
Another time. What may I do for you?
Okay, good.
Let's speak later.
Goodbye.
You're the Herald. Or, well, the one they're calling the Herald, anyway. It's odd to see them accepting a mage as their hero. Especially a Dalish elf. One look at your face and it's clear you were never part of a circle.
Is it that obvious?
My name is Maeve. I research demons and other creatures. Seeker Pentagast and I use what I find to help the soldiers fight them.
I've got a few things for you.
I found something the demons left behind. Can you use it?
Yes, that's very helpful. Just leave it there and the Tranquil and I will examine it.
Okay.
You've brought back some fascinating things. We're putting them to good use.
You said Cassandra has you researching creatures.
Yes. If you find anything interesting in your travels, I'd appreciate you bringing it to me. I may be able to find some weakness our soldiers can exploit when fighting various creatures. At the least, some materials are useful for making potions or gear for the Inquisition.
Why did you decide to research dangerous creatures?
I like the outdoors. The idea of the outdoors, anyway. When some monster is coming at you, glowing eyes and burning claws, it's terrifying. But once you know how it works, you can deal with it. It's just another part of the world. So much of this world is only frightening because we don't understand it.
You said you were a mage.
No, just an apprentice. Circle mages must prove themselves in a ritual called the Harrowing. I was never very good at magic. I've got just enough talent to be a danger to other people. But when the mages rebelled, people like me had nowhere to go. The Templars would have killed us. Luckily, Seeker Pentagast took me in, along with the Tranquil I was protecting.
You didn't join the rebels?
I'm surprised that even an apprentice mage wouldn't join the rebellion.
I don't like using magic to fight. I'm not good at it either. I liked studying. I liked performing rituals that helped us unlock the secrets of the Veil. I liked having the Templars around to keep us safe.
Interesting. It's a pity you aren't Dalish.
You might have done well among the Dalish. Our mages are encouraged to study safely.
Fenrir will take the Dalish. Don't let my lack of Vanisline fool you, Lethleen. I was a proud member of my clan until my magic manifested. You know what happens when they have too many mages. They gave me a pack and sent me into the woods to find my own life. I was 7 years old.
Wow. That's harsh.
I'm so sorry.
I stumbled into a village, starving and cold, a few weeks later. I started using magic to scare predators away. The villagers saw me make fire in my fist. They were terrified and wanted to kill me. Templars saved me from them. They gave me food and clothes and took me to the Circle. I've seen what life is like without the Templars, and I want no part of it. I just want to study.
You said that you were keeping some of the Tranquils safe.
Yes. The mages took some of them when my Circle rebelled, but the rest were forgotten. Most Circle mages look down on the Tranquil, or try to pretend they don't exist. They don't have any emotions. They can barely take care of themselves, can't defend themselves at all. It's a shame. I like them better than most people.
Well, they're lucky to have you.
I'm glad they have someone who cares about them.
They deserve better. They're polite, they're rational, and they'll never get angry at you. When they study, they have a focus no normal person could ever match. But the Templars, even some of the mages, mistreated them just because they could. The Tranquil never fought back. If not for that, I don't know. Doesn't really matter now.
I'll speak with you later.
Thank you again for what you've brought back.
She's actually kind of cool. I wonder if we're gonna spend more time with her.
We can use that.
Okay, good. So we give her all that stuff now.
Of light. Only the word dispels the darkness of...
Now, everything here should be very similar.
Have you had any trouble with them?
Not at all. I will inform you if that changes.
I think we've done some of these. Hardened Hightown's Varric's Revenge. I don't remember exactly who we sent to them, though, but... Crows might be a better choice, or ask a friend. I think, did we send the crows?
Let's see what we have.
I believe we did. Nobleman's concerns. Prefer they help the refugees. Yeah, I think we did this.
All right.
I could be wrong on that, but... Some of the Templars who knew the Divine. Oh, right. No, we did this one. Could send an honor guard to High Ever. Yeah, we changed that. Oops, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll send a diplomatic attaché and some of the Templars who knew the Divine to the, This is the vigil that's happening in High Ever.
At your service.
Okay, cool. So, now, let's do the report for gathering coin. And the watchtowers, which we picked up last time anyways. Very cool. And now what we need to do is actually go to Val Royeaux. So we've seen this all already. I'm going to take a pause here. When we come back, we will be in Val Royeaux, and we're going to see what that holds for us. Thank you guys very much for watching this episode specifically. It was a lot of important things that we discussed with all of our companions. And actually, that's part of the most enjoyable parts for me. So I'm glad that people were encouraging me to go back and actually talk to these guys, because what I would have been worried about is had we gone to Val Royeaux and we would not have then been able to ask a lot of those questions or have a lot of those discussions, I would have felt like we really missed out. So we will head to Val Royeaux now, and tomorrow in the next episode we will be there just where we left off on the last one. So thanks guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.
The city still mourns.
Just a guess, Seeker, but I think they all know who we are.
Your skills of observation never fail to impress me, Varric.
My Lord Herald.
You're one of Leliana's people. What have you found?
The Chantry Mothers await you, but so do a great many Templars.
There are Templars here?
People seem to think the Templars will protect them from the Inquisition. They're gathering on the other side of the market. I think that's where the Templars intend to meet you.
Only one thing to do, then.